Good evening.
Oh, I've got the best group. Excellent. They're actually listening to me. Welcome to York. Welcome to the original Ghost Walk of York. My name's Mark, I'm your guide. What we're going to do tonight is have a wander around the city. We're going to take you to various places where we can get to, because it's all changed with the illuminations and whatever. Take you to places. I'm going to tell you stories, ghost stories and horror stories. I like you. Who said that? I like you. I've got some, all the stories I tell tonight are true, by the way. That is to say, they have yet to be disproved. I've got some funny stories, some strange stories. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the tradition of Halloween. And I've got maybe a couple of gory stories if I'm lucky, if I can get them in. And I'm going to finish with a rude story. A naughty. I'm going to finish with a rude story. So you love York. A story about the pub across the river, which is called the Cock and Bottle. You're ahead of me. Which has got a rude ghost. But first of all, the bridge. The Ouse Bridge is the oldest bridge in the city. It's the third one to be built on the site. In medieval days, if you committed certain crimes, you were brought to York, tried and executed. They chopped your head off. The place that they carried out the executions is now Marks and Spencer's. They took the heads off there, they brought them to the bridge. The medieval bridge had a prison on it, and the heads were kept inside the prison while the jailer took a death mask of the face with plaster of Paris. They had to keep the heads inside of a prison because the friends and the relations would try to steal the head! You don't know what you are. These heads were then piked. They got a long pole with a point that went through the bottom of the chin and out through the top of the skull, and the piked heads were placed above the bars facing out of the city as a deterrent. The idea was people would see the heads and they wouldn't commit the same sort of crime. We don't know whether it works as a deterrent, but what we do know, and science has proved this, is that anybody who was brought to York, tried and executed, never committed another crime. The heads were up there for quite some time. The longest we have on record is 6.5 years above Micklegate Bar. I imagine a head up there for 6.5 years on a windy day. Heads blowing around in the breeze, birds pulling at the hair, pecking at the flesh, bits flying everywhere. People coming into York, getting covered in bits of rotting flesh. They would stand on something and slip. They'd pick it up and say, "What's this here?" Young children playing marbles. Eyeballs would bounce in, ruin the game. So they put a dish round to gather all the rotting flesh. A few years ago I had a lady on a ghost walk from a place called Bradford, Ontario, Canada. And that night we crossed over the bridge. The lady said she felt strange as she crossed over the bridge. She seemed okay, she felt a bit faint and a bit woozy. We sat her down on the steps for 5 minutes and she said, "Oh, I'm okay now, but really a bit strange." We walked up Micklegate. As we walked under Micklegate, she went, "Oh!" She hit the floor unconscious, fainted. So I picked her up, took her to the pub next door, had her brandy. When she come round, yeah, come on, you have to be quicker than that. When she come round, she said she remembered falling down a big black pit, twisting and turning. She had this strange feeling as she walked into the bar. And she said she heard the voice of a man telling her to beware of the city and to escape as soon as she could. She didn't understand any of it, neither did I. Off she went on her travels to Edinburgh. She came back to York a few days later, especially to see me. She said she was in Britain tracing her ancestors. One of them had taken part in the Second Jacobite Rebellion of 1745. He was captured and brought to York and executed in 1746. His head was piked above Micklegate bar. One of the last two men to have the head piked in York. She believes that the feeling she had and the voice she heard was her husband, her ancestor, warning her about York because of what had happened to him here. If you are in the city and you have anything strange or supernatural happen to you, please let us know. We always are interested. You never know, you give us another story. The man's name was Connolly. Is there anybody here tonight called Connolly?
Because that's Sean's
William
mom's
Connolly
name.
and James Main were the last two Jacobites to be executed. Really strange. A lot of people feel strange going over the bridge and under the bars. Micklegate Bar and Bootham Bar being the two main ones.